Hello friends and beautiful people. So today I'm going to talk about turkey. We're going to talk turkey. We are getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner, and I thought I would do a basic video, basic instructions, especially if you're making your turkey for the first time. Some of us have been doing it for a while, and we have our own little quirks and idiosyncrasies, but I thought I would show you a few tips I have, especially if you're a first timer. So one of the things you have to remember to do, and we've all done this, you have to remember to take all the goodies out of the inside. Now, to thaw him out, I stuck him in the refrigerator in his original packaging for a few days. He still has a little bit of ice. I wanted to get this video out so you would have it in time for Thanksgiving. I'm actually going to put him in his roasting pan and put him back in the fridge after we're done, because you don't want him to have any ice at all left. If you need to, you can put him in the original packaging in cold water in your sink. Make sure you have him at least halfway covered and you're flipping him, or if you have the ability to just completely cover the package and all with water, a little bit of cold water. I don't recommend doing it that way. I'm always concerned about things getting in and out. Even though there's plastic packaging there, I'm a freak. So we're going to take out the neck. Now my family, with the exception of me most of the time, sometimes I do, we actually will boil this neck off and peel all of the meat off and put it in our dressing. It's just something that Granny didn't waste anything, and so as I look at this, I will probably be doing the same thing. If I don't do it, when Mama gets here for Thanksgiving on Thursday, I'm sure I will hear about it. So we will probably, and basically what I do is while I'm cooking, I just throw that in a pan of water, just like you were cooking, making broth. The other thing you want to make sure that you get out of him are the bag with the gizzards and the livers. And that's, you got to go up in there. Sometimes you have to go through, the other side, but you want to make sure that you get both of those things out of there. We used to eat gizzards and livers until I really thought about what their purpose was. The liver detoxifies. Just think about what your liver does. It detoxifies. And so if its job is to detoxify, what do you think it's full of? Toxins. So we don't eat those anymore. And I have gone through, and this one is a Butterball, which is my competition at work, but they do make a good turkey. And I have gone through and checked for pin feathers, pulled those all around, rinsed him off, made sure that he didn't have any feathers sticking out. Butterball does a really good job with cleaning their turkeys, so what you're going to have to do here is minimal. Store brands tend to have a few more pin feathers and things, and you can pull those out. Sometimes I will take, pretend like this is a little paring knife. I will put this down on the skin up against where the pin feather is, put my fingernail on the other end, and in a scraping motion that would go with the way the feathers come out, pull it out, and it comes right out. But I do make sure I get all of those, because there's nothing less appetizing than looking at a feather. And now for my super secret. And now that once I show you this, it's on. I can't zoom with my camera, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring you over here for a second and get cooties all over my stand. Alright, because I want you to see how I do this. And this is pretty awesome. I learned this from a chef friend. What you're going to do is you're going to stick your fingers between the skin and the meat. And you're going to slide up in there gently, trying not to tear the skin, and you're going to separate them. And what you're going to do is you're going to go all the way up in there when you do this, as far as you can reach. You're going to do it on both sides, especially when you're doing the breast. Bear with me, there's a reason for this. And I'm going to come back and do it from the other side as well. And what I've done is I've cut up a stick of butter into little butter pats. And we're going to stuff those boogers right up in there. Again, especially on the breast. We never have complaints here about my breast meat being dry, and this is one of 2 ways that I make that happen. And I will use this whole stick of butter, not gonna lie. I should have a show on, who's the lady on HGTV that uses all the butter? Paula Deen. Yeah, I'm sure we're probably distantly related. That or it's just an Appalachian thing. All right, so I'm going to keep stuffing these in here. And I'm going to do it from the other side. I'm going to come up here and do it as well. I'm going to do it on this back side, right up in here. I don't generally do the wings, but I am going to come up in here and do it. And then, yeah, he looks good. See, they even make a skin flap so that you can tuck it on there. And they also take off the hiney. Butterball does. I know some places don't, and that just creeps me out and grosses me out. So once we have done this with all of our butter paths, then what we're going to do is we're going to, again, we're going to flip him over and do the other side. And when we do flip him over, this is why I do the breast side first. We're going to cook him breast side down. And what that does is it eliminates the need for basting, because all the juices are going to run off right into the pan and keep that breast nice and moist. So I'm going to put him in my roaster like this, which is completely opposite the way you would think you do it. And then I'm going to come in and sprinkle, I'm going to have to just decutiize everything. I'm going to sprinkle some of the sage on the top, some onion powder and some garlic powder, and I'm going to put him in my roasting pan just like this. And I'm going to put about 1 inch of water in the bottom of the roasting pan. And I'm going to keep the lid on most of the time so that he steams and it cooks him all the way through. I do not make stuffing. And the difference between dressing and stuffing, dressing is a dish that is cooked on the side. Stuffing, you're going to stick it in the cavity of the bird and cook it. And there's a lot of health studies out there that show that that doesn't get to a good temperature. It's a good way to spread salmonella and other diseases. So it's just not, ooh, I missed one. It's just not a good practice. There we go, got it. So, is that another one? No, it's just a dark spot. So I always just cook my dressing on the side. I never do stuffing. I know it's great for presentation. So if you wanted to, something I've done in the past when we've had a lot of people over for dinner and I wanted things to be pretty, when I actually plated him up on the turkey platter, I took some of the dressing out of the pan and I actually just kind of laid it there so that it looked like it was stuffing, but I do not recommend doing stuffing. When you cook your bird, you want to cook him to his correct internal temperature of, and I try to go for 160 degrees on for an internal temperature. And you want to take that temperature in several places with a meat thermometer, and you want to stick it in to where it's meat, thick meat. You don't want to just do it like stick your thermometer right in on the top, because you're not going to get a good read. You want to go in, but you don't want to actually touch the bone when you're taking the temperature. What you don't want to do is, you see all these beautiful pictures on the internet of a turkey that has, it's golden brown and crispy on the outside. Friends, that's an overcooked bird, and that's going to be dry meat. So I do let it start to get gold, but I don't do the crispy golden brown because that's going to overcook your bird. And that's it. That's my big secret, is that I stuff all that. I'm going to stuff all that butter underneath the skin. I'm not going to make you sit through that. And I'm going to cook him breast down. Sprinkle the spices on the top. No need for basting. He goes in the oven for the appropriate amount of time. All of the turkey labels have it on there, depending on the size of your bird. And I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving, and here's to all kinds of beautifully cooked turkeys around the world, and spending time with family and friends, and giving God thankfulness for everything that He has given. Until next time, friends, be blessed and be a blessing.